Everybody? It is Drexrage back for another StarCitizen video, and today I am going to be looking over the Origin ships, and I'm going to be doing a mega episode of my StarCitizen ship tours videos, because this is the 5th video, so we've gotten through 5, so I'm giving you a full video of the entire Origin lineup that is currently available in-game. So I'm just going to start right off in the normal fashion, what I've been doing before. So right here, first ship I'm going to show you guys is the Origin 350R, which is the racing variant of the 300 series. Comes with one gun on the front, one gimbal mounted gun that is a size 1, and then 2 Omni-Sky size 2s on the wing. So these ships are basically all the same, so I'm going to only show you the inside of one, and then I'll walk about and talk about the others. I do this. Little ladder comes out, and I gotta find the button for the ladder. This is what the Origin 300 series looks like inside. It's got good viewing angles in the cockpit. Here, I'll jump in and show you. But they all carry the same look throughout the entire ship. They all carry the same interior, and the 300 series are going to be getting a rework at some point, meaning that what they currently look like will not be what they look like forever. They won't always hold the same look as what they've got now. I hit that button there. They all have this little bed to kind of get away from the lack of bed issue, because the way the game works is you won't be able to save unless you have a bed, or unless you go to a spaceport. So you'd have to have a bed to be able to save out in the middle of the verse. So the other cool thing is, since this is a racing ship, it's got twin engines on the back, as opposed to all the other 300 series ships that have single engine. So if I move off of that one and back to this one, the interior is the same, but instead you have a size 2 mass driver that is equipped on the front, and still Omni-Skies on the wings. And I believe, despite them being broken, there should be missile racks that are mounted on this ship as well. I believe the missile racks are broken, and they're not fixing them due to the fact that the ship is not yet flyable. So it has these little missile racks on the bottom. The original missile racks are very broken. So it just carries missiles down there. So that's kind of nice, and again, single engine, nothing too special about it. Probably the most streamlined of all of them, because this one is the fighter variant, and it is the 325, and this one I believe is $75. This one I believe is 100 and I'd say 115 to 120 area. And then there's this one back here, which is the 315P, which comes with dual Omni-Skies, and it's got a mount in the front, where in the full game there should be a tractor beam there, and this one is an exploration based version of the 300 series. So if I come back around to the back of the ship, it's got a vectored engine that's a bit better for fuel consumption and thrust vectoring, and it's got a bit bulkier of a back end because it does have an enlarged fuel tank for longer range flight. That one I believe comes in at not 265, at 65, where this is the last one of the Origin ships. Just comes with dual Omni-Skies on the wings, nothing up front. And this is if you want a 300 series, but you don't want to pay 300 series money, you can just buy this. It's not really equipped for anything. It's basically there just to kind of look pretty as a 300 series ship. Doesn't come with a main gun or anything. no special upgrades, but pretty much the same chassis as the 325A, but it doesn't have the weapons loadout that the 325A has the opportunity to equip. So as I move off of the 300 series, which are all of those ships, they all have the same interior, they all operate the same, they just look different, except for the 300R, which is marginally faster than the others. So, and then I'm going to move up to here to one of the different ships in the Origin line, which is the 85X Runabout, which is a 2-person snub fighter. Comes with 4 size 1 longsword cannons, which are pretty nice. It's got a bunch of punch for a snub fighter. It's got the nice engines in the back. It's a pretty sleek looking ship. It's got the spoiler, and this is what they're gonna start basing Origin ships off. Is all the materials and all the stuff that they've done with this ship is what they're gonna base the rework for the 300 series off of. So if I jump in here, I can find the entrance to this thing. That's cool. It's got the little ladder on the side. Very cool. And then you've got the main pilot controls, which are pretty nice. You don't have very good view down and to your right, but up and to your left and up and to your right, you have incredible view. There's nothing blocking you except for the center console. And something cool, if I look over there, so the second seat in this thing has a joystick and throttle on it, as well as the pilot or the main driver's seat having the controls. So both seats have controls on them. It's a bit of an ambidextrous ship. It's just the pilot seat is better equipped for obviously piloting. The other seat you would have to use only if like the pilot got killed or something, or if the pilot got hit, or if you were wanting to give the second person the ability to control the rudder. And this here, the last of the Origin ships that we have available to us in game, is the M50. So this is the fastest ship currently in the game with 2 giant engines. It's very maneuverable, very small, but it does pack a decent punch with, I believe, size 2 bearings, a missile on each wing. Yes, a missile on each wing and 2 bearing size 2s. And this is another racing ship. This one was built specifically for racing, and you'll see that in its sleek lines and its smooth curves. And it also is very shiny. This is one of the most polished, as in shiny looking ships in the game. Now I don't know why they made it so shiny, but I believe that this is what ships will aspire to be. Like any metallic ship that's of this kind of metal will have this kind of reflection to it. Now I don't see myself in the reflection, which is kind of strange, but it is an early access game, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. So all the ships have kind of cool ways of getting into them like that. Origin ships are very good at being cool. So as a racing ship, you have very good view here. Your flight's very good, very stable, quick flight. Afterburner's a little weird. You will kind of get some turbulence when you crank the ship up to full power, to full speed, but despite that, it's still an amazing racing ship. And yeah, so there's the M50 versus the 350R, and then you've got the 85X, which is the only ship that of all of these doesn't have a decent jump range because it is a snub-nosed fighter. Now technically the M50 could also, I think, be referred to as snub-nosed. Technically, it could be referred to as that by the fact that it and the 85X are basically the same size. So, as I just go down the line, I'm going to start at the 350R, tell you why you should or shouldn't buy it, and why I think that. So, 350R, if you're a racer, it's this or the M50. I would say if you want a racing ship with a bed and a little bit of living space, definitely go with the 350, and definitely wait for the rework to happen before you sell yourself on it, because these will all be reworked, and that's something that I'm going to say for every single one of these Origin ships except for these two, because these two are in their final variation. The M50 may get a visual pass, but it is in the way it's meant to be. Balanced well, not really an issue. So 350R, if you're not buying an M50 and you want to race, 350R is nice. It's a little bit more expensive, but you get a bed and a little bit of living area, small amount of cargo. 325A, I would say, in my personal opinion, only buy this if you want an Origin ship, but you also want a fighter. Despite this being a fighter, it's not a strong one, so keep that in mind. This one's probably on my not buy list as well, just because for the same money you can get an Avenger or something, which will be more effective. But if you do want a nimble fighter that's made by Origin, this is an alright ship. But in my humble opinion, not for me. And then you've got the 315P, which I have to say personally is a very, very effective ship. It's got long range, it's an exploration ship, and it's low-end exploration. It's exploration, or it's a ship for exploration if you don't want to fly a Mustang. If you don't want to fly the Mustang Beta, I believe it is, you can go and get an Origin ship, and this is very inexpensive. It works well, it flies well. Inside's the same, but it will be reworked. I'm betting it's going to have probably a little bit more living space, and maybe just something put in it to make it easier to live with. And then the 300, I don't know, 300i. I don't know. I would say, personally, to steer clear of the 300i, unless you really, really want the 300 series without breaking the bank. Like if you are a new player and you just got out of your starter ship, and you're wanting Origin 300 series as a starter ship, this, I guess, like, I could warrant it only then. But if I was going to suggest anybody, like, if I was going to suggest anything for anybody to bump up to, I would say skip this and go straight to the 315, because the 315 has, I believe it has missiles, so it has 2 missiles, and it also has long range capability that this does not. Whereas if you want to bump up to the 25A, you can get more missiles, better weapons loadout, but it has the same thrusters, and the R versus the I, there's not really much of a competition. The R is going to have just as stripped down a weapon system as the P and the 300i. But it's just not, I don't know, it's just not a competition between those two. The R is so much more expensive that if you're contemplating buying a 350R versus a 300i, you can probably look for a better fighter class ship. You're probably not even looking at the 350 or the 300i, because the A and the P are much more effective. And then you get to the 85X. Cool concept, not really one for me. I've done a little bit of flying with it. It's fast, it's nimble, but it's not really what I expected it to be. It's not really what I wanted it to be. So I would have to give this ship a pass as well. But it is cheap, it's nice. It's something I would pick up in the verse, but I wouldn't put money down on it. Just because it's not enough of anything really to warrant me picking one up. And I would also say that this is the only snub fighter with a quantum drive, unless you can refer to the M50 as a snub fighter. So yeah, I would say only if you have $50 to burn would you want one of these. I would say just wait to wait until the game releases to full, or if you really want a snub ship, this is a good snub ship over the Merlin. Like if you're deciding, do I want to upgrade a Merlin? Definitely, this is an upgrade to the Merlin that will come in handy, but it's not a ship you want to have as your full-time ship. Remember, it is a snub ship. Its money-making potential, its potential is more just to get you from point A to point B than it is to work and be a powerhouse in the verse. Whereas the 300 series, all the ones that I've shown you, have their own job, or they can do a job. And then if I move forward here, the last ship, which is the M50, the M50 is a dedicated racing ship, as I've said already. It is, again, you're in a direct lock between whether you want to spend $100 on the M50 or 115, I believe. It might be 125 on the 350R. You'd have to make your decision straight 1-to-1. Do you want the living space and the bed, or do you not want to do that and have a smaller ship package that's a little bit faster? Now, I personally, I'm not a racer, so I can't make that decision very well for you, but I would say, personally, in my opinion, I would probably, for my fleet, add the M50 just because it's a tad cheaper. But if you're into dedicated racing, you'll have both, and you'll probably have picked up the new Misk Razor as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed my kind of Origin ship super video for the 5th of my ship tours and ship showing videos. So this series will hopefully continue. It will hopefully keep going as I get more ships to try out. Actually, not even hopefully, it will continue as I get more ships to try out. And I guess just if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice one. Peace.